Okay, I want to quickly mention that for these easy as 1, 2, 3 card effects, what we will actually be doing is we'll be using 3 shuffles, and the middle shuffle will change from one routine to the other. Okay, so the first and last shuffles will be the same in all of these. It's the middle shuffle that will vary. Okay, so just so you know that. Doing this will quickly give you a whole bunch of different ways of presenting this actually. Okay, so as we saw in the earlier one, we need 12 random cards from the spectator. Okay, so we choose 12 random cards. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, spectator is free to mix these cards as much as they like. You gather them up, and as you're gathering them up, you just need to catch a glimpse of the bottom card. Okay, so note, Queen of Diamonds. Okay, you can glimpse that also by just squaring up the packet and kind of tapping it on the table. You can kind of see the identity of that card. Now, because I don't have a spectator here, what we're going to do so that you can see that this in fact works is we're going to replace the Queen of Diamonds with the 5 of Hearts, on which I've clearly written glimpse bottom card. Now, once you've glimpsed the bottom card, you don't show yourself, you show the spectator the identity of the top card without you seeing it. Okay? Now, this really will not work well unless I have a live spectator over there to see it and I don't see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the presentation is just replace it with the Ace of Clubs, on which I've written spectator's card. Okay, so just to summarize, we have a bottom glimpse card, and the top card is the card they're remembering. You have to realize that in practice, all of these 12 cards are randomly chosen. Okay, so what that means is the card on top is random. The card on bottom is random because it came from a randomized deck. Okay, so showing them the top card, having them remember that, is like choosing a random card. It truly is. Okay, but in practice, you won't know what that is. The only information you know is that. That's the glimpse card. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just mix these cards. And at the end of this video, I will show you what these shuffles are and kind of explain what they're doing in the case of this routine here. So I've just scrambled the cards. So if you want to rewind that and see if you can follow the movement of your card, it's a very, very messy shuffle. Okay, and then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to deal into 3 piles. 3 piles of 4. Okay. And ask the spectator how they would like these stacked. Would you like me to stack them from left to right or right to left? Maybe they want left to right. Okay, very, very good. Okay, let's do another one of those. Okay, do you want to stack from left to right or right from right to left? Left to right again. Oh, you seem to really like that direction for some reason. Okay, now realize that you can do as many of these as the spectator asks for. So just keep dealing them out until they're content. Maybe they want stacked from right to left. That's just fine. Why don't we just do one more? But in reality, you can do as many as the spectator wants you to do. Okay, maybe left to right this time again. Okay, now you have to think about the movement of the cards and what the spectator's perception will be of the movement of the cards, because those cards are being moved all over the place, and then the spectator is actually deciding how to stack the piles. That very, very much decides the ordering of the cards. There's no way to get around that. So their choices there are affecting everything. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm just going to put out pairs using something called the Klondike Shuffle, and I'll show you how to do it in just a moment. Now, something that will always, always happen, and don't tell the spectator this, but the original glimpse card will always be paired with the spectator's remembered card. Okay, it doesn't matter how many dealings into 3 piles that you perform. With random stacking from left to right, you can do those forever. And then when you Klondike shuffle, that's what I just did, Klondike pairs to the table, these 2 cards will always be pairs. Well, what does that enable you to do? Well, that enables you to know what their card is right away. You don't necessarily have to reveal it right away. You could do it in stages to make it more interesting. So you could claim, well, I think it's in this top half somewhere. I'm not sure where. So I think I can get rid of these. I sure hope I haven't messed up. And of course, you as a spectator will know if I messed up. Okay, so what about these? I don't know. Let's see. I have a 1 and 3 now. Chance. I don't think it's this one. And I don't think it's... No, it could be that one. I don't think it's this one. That's what I was feeling pretty clearly. Okay, 50-50 chance here. Does anyone have a coin? I think this one needs to be thrown. I think that's your card. That's what I'm going with. That's my final answer. Is your card the Ace of Clubs? And, hopefully they'll not lie and say yes. And even if they lie, guess what? You know they are lying. Why? Because you know this is their card. Why is that? Because we know that these two cards will be paired at the end. How do we know that? Because of the underlying mathematics. Okay. Now, the underlying mathematics, we're not going to go into depth here because this is meant just for a general lay audience. But if you'd like to understand the principles driving this and how you can use those same principles to create your own amazing card effects, then take a look at other videos on the Hidden Structures channel. In fact, you may want to start with the Hidden Structures Bootcamp series that kind of gets you into some of the basics. So anyway, that's the card effect I wanted to share with you. And it's a fun one, and it's completely inexplicable to 99.9% of spectators, okay? And there's just 3 shuffles involved. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I haven't shown you, darn it. I forgot I was going to show you the shuffles. I almost left that off. Apologize for that. Okay, so let me show you the first shuffle, okay? So that very first shuffle I did, so in fact, let's just pretend here. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're kind of go back to the beginning here. Assuming I have 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so if you want to go back to the beginning, there's our glimpse card. This is the card the spectators remembered. Okay, so the very first shuffle I did is called a Charlier 1. A Charlier 1. And I have a separate video on the Charlier shuffle. So Charlier 1 is not too hard to learn the mechanics. It takes a little bit of practice. Is you push over the top card, and then the bottom card you push over and put it on top. This top card over here goes on the bottom. The bottom card here goes on the top. So it's top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom. Okay, that's called a Charlier 1. Now, it's a wonderfully confusing shuffle to watch for a spectator who has not seen it before, but it has a very special effect on the packet that we just had a moment ago. Okay, so that's some of the underlying mathematics. But what you need to know is this shuffle is needed before we go into the dealing into 3 piles. That's the second step, or second shuffle. Spectators free to stack from left to right, or right to left. That's just fine. And then the last shuffle I use is something called a Klondike shuffle. This one's fairly simple. You take the bottom card, just one, top card, and you take them off together. And I just set them down like that. Okay, like this. Maybe over here. Okay, and you have to realize the spectator doesn't know that you know anything about any of the cards. As far as they know, they're randomly chosen, and they were. Yeah, in reality, these are randomly chosen, but you've just glimpsed the identity of the bottom card. So you just have one tiny piece of information, but it ends up being sufficient to determine the identity of their card, which is astonishing, I think. Okay, and so you already know, because this is your glimpse card, 5 of hearts. Well, you know the spectator's card is the one paired with it. Okay, guaranteed. Okay, and then from here you can, however you want to reveal this. Right now, if you're going to choose pairs first, there's a 1 in 6 chance. Okay, not very likely. Okay, so let's say you go through and eventually eliminate all of them except for this one pair right here. So 1 in 6 chance. Well, now you have a 50% chance, a 1 in 2 here. So it's like a coin flip, okay? But the fact that you got the right pair is already going to be quite surprising. And then from here, you can kind of, pretend that you're getting some kind of energy from the cards or something. And you can you could even play with the colors and go, well, at the very start, when you looked at your card, which I didn't see, in my mind's eye, I saw a black card. I don't know why, but I saw a black card. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that the black card here, which is just the Ace of Clubs, is yours. Did I see that correctly? My vision of a black card, did it help me in determining your actual noted card? And, the spectator will say, yep, you found my card. Or if they want to lie, they can. But you'll know that they're lying, actually, like I mentioned, because you know this is their card. Okay, so that is how this effect works. So thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Hidden Structures channel to learn more. There's hundreds of them there. So thank you for watching.